Hold it.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Nicole Fevrier Davis, mind body expert, along with charity owner of Positive Impact Magazine. And today we have Dr. Evan Levine talking to us a little bit about heart monitoring. And I want to say, as a personal trainer, I love heart monitoring. I think it's very important. I have several clients with hypertension and high blood pressure, so I'm always monitoring them literally every 5 minutes. But Dr. Levine has come up with a really fascinating piece of equipment that can help people who are on medications right now or who are suffering from hypertension. Isn't that right, Dr. Levine?
Well, thank you for the introduction. There's a lot of different equipment out there. I didn't come up with much of it, but we'll talk about something really exciting and new that I've partnered with and which we're coming out with. But it's not always about the equipment. It's about who's looking at the equipment. So some people say, hey, I can buy some of this stuff online or.
Oop, I just lost Dr. Evan Levine. Oop. Here we go. Are you back?
Me? There you go.
I just lost you
What
for
I
some
often
reason. I
tell
don't know
people,
why.
yeah, because somebody called in and I need to block that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
You'll edit that out, I guess, or can we do that? So, anyway, it's not only about the equipment, it's who's looking at the equipment. It's not only about telemedicine, it's who's looking at your chart. So, what we have now is a special circumstance because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
All these devices were coming to market, and telemedicine was kind of working its way in slowly. And then COVID came up. Physicians didn't really want to do telemedicine, and they were forced into it because who wants to go to a doctor's office and sit next to someone who might have COVID or something else,
Oh,
right?
I'm a personal trainer. I know exactly what you're talking about. No one wants to
There
come
you
to a
go.
studio or a gym.
Right. Who wants to go to a gym right now? Maybe one on one in your house sounds good, but I don't know if I'd run to a gym right away.
Oh no, my
So
whole business is now online, just
that's
primarily like you're
great.
doing.
So,
Yeah.
exactly. So, that's super. It's like you have a one on one sort of better than Peloton session. And I have something that is far better than these grand, large telemedicine companies because they don't know the person. Kind of akin to Peloton. They don't know you, you don't know them. Only your
Correct.
trainer, personal trainer, knows you. Same thing with some of these large telemedicine companies. You can call them up and they can do a video conference with you. But do they know your history, your allergies, your medications? No. Do you know who that person is? Can you trust that person? Of course you can't.
Right.
So the idea is to take people, especially with hypertension, heart disease, palpitations, and try to keep them out of the doctor's office, number one. Try to keep them out of the emergency room or hospital, even more important, number two. And also try to improve their care and improve their blood pressure control and diminish their risk for heart disease. And how do you do that? And here's the beauty of this marriage of a real physician, not somebody out somewhere on a phone who you don't know, like myself, who's a board certified cardiologist and internist, the telemedicine and videos, so you can talk with me whenever you'd like to, and then all these novel devices. And what are we talking about? We're talking about a few novel devices. Number one, we're talking about these new blood pressure cuffs, which you don't have to inflate, which you just push a button. And when you join my service, automatically is sent through your phone seamlessly to your own private portal that I can watch, that I can see, that I can follow. And
Beautiful.
why is that important? Well, imagine you go to the doctor and your blood pressure is a little higher than it used to be and you're on medications. They'll often say, come back in a month. You go back in a month, it's still elevated. Let's increase your medicines, come back in another month. You've had 3 visits, you've had 3 blood pressures. Number one, the worst place to take your blood pressure is the doctor's office. 30% of people have falsely elevated blood pressures.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you only had 3 blood pressures. How can we fix that? Well, if you have a device which I can look at and you can take it 2 or 3 times a day, I can see how your blood pressures are throughout the day.
Right.
And I can also make changes without seeing you in an office. I'm seeing you at on a video. But if your blood pressure remains elevated, let's say like this person went to their doctor's office, in a week or so, first I'm doing multiple blood pressures, not 3. But if I see it's persistently elevated, and now I know if you go to the doctor, maybe that one reading was an error or you're anxious, but now I know I see a trend and I can increase the blood pressure medicine, but you didn't have to make that trip to the doctor's office. You
Right.
didn't have to waste your time. You didn't have to spend additional dollars, and you didn't have to sit in an office where someone could have COVID or the flu or something else.
So let me get this straight, and feel free to jump in at any time, Charity. But so you're saying that when people sign up for this service, they're signing up with you specifically and they become your patient. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So let's imagine you're on a blood pressure medicine that might slow your heart rate. So in addition to that, or you have palpitations or an irregular rhythm, we basically give you also a device that takes a full 6-lead EKG. It's very simple to use. And again, it's uploaded to a private portal that only I and you can see.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have, let's give a circumstance. So we've treated the patient with blood pressure. Let's give another circumstance. Person A is on a business trip. They're 1,000 miles from home. They get palpitations occasionally. They had this dinner arrangement meeting. They had a few cocktails. They go back to the room and they have a couple of palpitations and they're not sure what's going on. What do you do? First, you panic because you don't know what to do, right? Is it time to go to the emergency room? If you call your regular physician and you're not in a plan like this, as good as the physician is, they don't know. Mm-hmm. They can't tell you. But if you carry these small devices, you hook yourself up and let's say the blood pressure is okay. And maybe the monitor shows something that I'm really concerned about, and I tell you to go to the emergency room. Or maybe the monitor is fine. I say you probably just had a few extra drinks. Let's just watch your blood pressure.
Oh, no. I think it's a great tool.
Yeah.
So we save the visit to the emergency room, or on the other hand, we save someone from serious complications because we advise them to go to the emergency room. And again, they're 1,000 miles away. As long as you have internet access, I can see you, talk to you, check your blood pressure, check your heart rate. We had a patient the other day who felt lightheaded after walking. They got up quickly. They felt really lightheaded. And the first thing their neighbor and wife said, "Oh my God, let's take you to the emergency room." Mm-hmm. And he said, "Wait, I'm part of Dr. Levine's program. I live, a couple of 100 yards away." He sat down. He felt better. They drove him home. It was just a few 100 yards, but they drove him home. And I said, "Okay, let's check your blood pressure. Let's check your EKG." Everything was normal. And I said, "Leave the monitor on, stand up real quickly, and let's repeat it." Right. And his blood pressure fell by 20 millimeters of mercury. He was orthostatic.
Wow.
He felt lightheaded because he got up too quickly. Right. And so I had this televideo conference with him, and I asked simple questions. "Mr. So-and-so, did you have breakfast today?" "No." "Did you drink anything before you went out in the late morning sun?" "No."
Yeah.
"Okay, it's 85 degrees out. You're probably dehydrated. What we're going to do is you're going to stay home. We're going to push some fluids. You're going to drink some fluids. And in an hour, you're going to stand up again and do exactly what I told you." His blood pressure was fine.
Right.
He's happy. He didn't have to make that emergency room visit, which costs, $4,000 or $5,000 to $10,000. And you have a large deductible plan that's coming out of your pocket.
Right.
And again, who wants to sit in an emergency room if you don't have to, because COVID and God knows what else can happen in emergency rooms.
Yeah. Do they even let you?
I had a patient call me at night and said, "Oh, I'm having some of these palpitations again. What should I do? It's 9:00 in the evening." And I said, "Well, let's hook you up to the monitor and blood pressure." His blood pressure was lowish. Mm-hmm. His heart rate was in the 140s and he had atrial fibrillation. Said, "Sir, your blood pressure is low. Your heart rate is too fast. You have to go to the emergency room." Now, he might not have gone to the emergency room. He might have stayed at home and tried to sleep it off. And we know repercussions with that.
Right.
Now, things are even going to become more advanced. I'm joining with a company that makes a stethoscope. And
Well, wait. Hold on one second. Let's back up just a second. Can you describe to our listeners and viewers what a 6-lead monitor is?
So basically, when you see ones they advertise on TV, they're one lead. You just see one EKG lead, one strip. Same thing with the Apple Watch. It's one lead. There are certain companies that you can actually take when they put you in the doctor's office and they put all those leads on your arms and legs. That's a 6-lead EKG, and technology has advanced so much that with a tiny little square device, we can do that just at home, just by touching it and putting one on your knee. You create something called, I'll be fancy, Einthoven's triangle, just like the leads on your arms and hands.
I love fancy.
6 leads. So that's important because you need 6 leads sometimes to read things that you can't on a 1 lead.
Yes, because very often I find it more and more that there's either a delay in heart rate monitors and Apple Watches or any device really. It could happen with anyone, or if the client has rolling veins, it doesn't pick it up. You know, there's a lot of disparity sometimes in the heart rate that we get, even when I'm just checking them during a cardiovascular exercise or during interval training. And, you know, there's also a lag. So we may be on the second.
And you have a cardiologist looking at it, which is important. So you can go and buy these monitors. And I jokingly tell some of the patients, it's like this, it's akin to, okay, I can go buy Benjamin Moore paint, but who's painting the house, right?
Yeah.
You can buy these monitors, but who's reading it? Who's interpreting it? Who's telling you to go to the hospital, drink fluids, if the EKG is worrisome or not?
Do you have plans on expanding your practice and having other doctors, like as you start to gain more and more clients and patients?
What I want to do is create a niche practice with just 200 or 300 people to start. And I don't want to dilute it, okay, with less quality. So for me, you have a cardiologist. If I added folks to the practice, they would either have to be under my supervision or similarly a board certified cardiologist. Because don't forget, you have to be cautious here because we don't want to make the wrong decision, right?
Right.
If I tell someone you have to go to the hospital, I want to make darn sure they need to go to the hospital. Same thing as the other way around. If I tell folks you're okay, stay home, I want to be darn sure that we're fine with that. Or if I prescribe or add a medication, which I could do, like the person with the blood pressure, I want to make sure.
I just see this as being a really good product to sell to other cardiologists and possibly get them online with your service, like providing a service that actually supports your, you know, your equipment.
Well, what I'm looking for right now, because cardiologists like to hold their patients, what I'm looking right now is for people that have hypertension or some sort of heart disease, that wish to continue to travel, that won't want to stay at home. You know, you're 55 years of age and maybe you have some extra beats in your heart or you have some hypertension and you have that fear of, oh, what am I going to do if I wake up in the Hilton Hotel in some strange city and I have a palpitation or I feel like my blood pressure is elevated. Who am I going to call? What am I going to do? And that's what I'm looking for. The other thing that we're going to be adding real soon, and I'm part of this company, is a stethoscope. And this is really cool. A stethoscope where you can put the stethoscope on your chest or heart, and I can listen to it.
Wow.
So, yeah. So if you have advanced heart disease, pretty cool. And we think that, you know, hey, you're a little short of breath. I can listen to your lungs, see if there's any fluid in the lungs, just like anyone at your physician's office. But again, you stay out of the doctor's office. Hopefully stay out of the emergency room. And equally as important, hopefully push somebody if they really need to go to that emergency room to go, because there's a lot of denial out there. As you know, people are in denial sometimes. And when they don't go to the emergency room, when they really need to go, they get themselves into trouble.
Right. Right. Charity, did you have any questions?
No, I was just commenting on how cool that would be for that. The
The
If I could-
stethoscope.
Thank you.
Stethoscope.
Yes.
No, I think it's a really very impressive invention, and I'm excited for your progress. I think
Yeah.
it's going to really kind of revolutionize, office visits and
Right.
emergency room visits, like you said. So I'm excited for you.
Well, it's already
Better healthcare, improved observation of patients, making sure they're healthier because we're watching them more often, not just
Yeah.
one blood pressure at a doctor's office, not just one heart rate at the doctor's office, and the convenience. I think the convenience is very important as well.
well,
So
with the mental health world.
go ahead.
It's already happening with the mental health world too, especially during these times. People need their therapists and they're Zooming, and there's centers all over. I just met a man who's building a hospital here, and he's building these mental health, and he's having the drive-through service, or like what you said, just he's wants 100 doctors in there working with people of all kinds all over the world.
Right. But remember, the important thing for whether it's mental health or cardiology
Right.
is to know your physician and make sure your physician, wherever they are, has a record of you and knows you, knows your allergies, knows what's wrong. So I'm all for the Zoom mental health. I think it's wonderful, but with the same practitioner and the person that knows you, because you don't want to give somebody a medication that, they might be allergic to, right? Or something that
Absolutely.
cause an adverse effect. So I think marrying telemedicine in the right way, doing it the right way, not this generic McDonald's telemedicine, but telemedicine almost in a concierge way where you know the patients, you have information on the patients, you know the patient's history and adverse medications, etc. This is helpful. And for me, it gives you an umbrella of coverage. Wherever you are, if you're in the Caribbean and you're not feeling well, what are you going to do when you wake up at night and you're not feeling well in the Caribbean? You're in big trouble, right? It's scary. But at least if you had a service like this where I can look at your blood pressure, look at you, check your heart with the EKG, and coming soon, listen to your heart and breath sounds, you'd be pretty comfortable that way.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
No,
Um,
thank you.
So I was just curious, like I'm thinking about so many applications here, and I'm sure you have as well. But I'm assuming you want to really hone and create this base of information first before you branch out. But do you see any other innovations coming down the pipe for your particular specialty in cardiology?
Well, in this novel approach, I think we'll be going from a 6-lead to a 12-lead EKG very shortly. The stethoscope for me is a huge innovation, especially in people that have difficulty going, to the doctor's office. And the blood pressure is important. I think once we have that in the video, I think we've got it all. I mean, we can already do oxygen saturations, weights, and that can all be added on quite simply to the service. And all of that, again, goes to a private portal where we can just watch and observe and see if there are different trends.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Time too. Who likes to drive to the doctor's office?
Who wants to waste time? Who wants to miss work?
I do feel that way, that this whole COVID experience is going to wake up a lot of people to what can be done at home as opposed to going somewhere to get a service or, see their doctor or whatever. But that's very exciting. I'm very optimistic that maybe this will turn into, I want to say a standard for online care.
Yeah.
Well, if it can help people, it sounds, for me, it's basically a lot of fun and helping people and providing a great service. It's a very positive thing for me to do.
That's awesome.
And next time we talk, not that we're done with this, but I definitely want to talk about the vitamin D thing and how it can be a preventative for COVID, because that's been coming up in my world a lot.
Will do.
You want to ask real quickly now, because I think that's important. I think.
Real quickly, because I got to go. My opinion is that Vitamin D is a very important vitamin that we need. But see, Americans and in general, people want to take this cure-all panacea. So they want to take vitamins. For me, natural vitamin D is getting out in the sunshine and exercising. So low vitamin D levels have been associated with coronary disease, but taking vitamin D supplements have not been proven to reduce coronary disease.
Interesting.
My feeling is people with higher vitamin D levels have less coronary disease because they're more likely to be out in the sunshine and exercising. So everyone looks for this cure. Everyone looks for this vitamin. You want good high vitamin D. You want to reduce your risk of COVID. You want to reduce your risk of heart disease. Good. Go out in the sunshine and exercise instead of taking pills.
Yeah, that's your friends going too. Besides that,
I just saw 2 clients today outside.
Yeah.
We got our vitamin D.
Love cure all, right? Nature and fun and love.
Yep, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Levine. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And, we'll check in again in the future, I'm sure.
If you want to know a little bit more about what we're doing, I have my website is very simple, drevanlevine.com.
Yes.
drevanlevine.com.
Yes, and I love it. Congratulations on your new site too. I love it. I checked it out today earlier. Yes.
Good luck with everything. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Levine. Have a great
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, where are we? Oops.
See you soon. Nicole and I and another guest.
I'm sorry. Say that again, Charity. I just for a second blanked. So I don't have my glasses on, and that should probably never happen again. So I let go of the wrong person. I apologize.
The wrong person? What do you mean? He had to go.
He was still on, but I closed your window instead. So that's never going to happen again. Sorry.
All well in the live video world. So we can close up, and we will get back with you, everybody, next week, Monday, Tuesday and Friday, Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, we're coming back. You and I are coming back Wednesday and Fridays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And during that time, we will be talking about spirituality and what's going on in the world today. But we'll also be covering some psychic mind-body readings. So please stay tuned for those readings. If you would like a reading, you can always message me during this actual live podcast, and I'll answer questions. We're just doing brief things for the time being so that everyone gets a little bit of entertainment and fun at the same time. So we're going to focus on giving those readings next week, Wednesday, 2:30 on Wednesday and Friday. I don't even know my own times. That's sick.
But everybody out there, is it the first weekend of summer where the rest of the world, or are we full-fledged summertime everywhere?
Yeah. Well, hopefully, you'll get your vitamin D and then come in and listen at 2:30.
An hour a day.
So Love Infinity is the owner of Positive Impact Magazine and her website. Go ahead, Charity.
PositiveImpactLife.com, PositiveImpactGlobal.com, PositiveImpactEmpire.com, and PositiveImpactMagazine.com.
Basically, she wanted to corner the market on all of it. So she's got everything in there: life, global, empire. She's got it all. My website is mindbodymastery.org, or you can also find me at Nicole's MDM on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I know on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, right? Isn't that true?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm sure if you go to her website, you'll also find her social media little pins up at the top of her page. So thank you so much for joining us, if you had a chance to join us, and we will see you next week, Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. And take care and have a positive impact kind of day. Yeah. Bye.
Okay.